guys'?
You guys ready for an adventure? So you're probably wondering exactly what is going on right now. This is not an overland adventure. This is a backpacking adventure that we got flown into. We are in the Bob Marshall Wilderness Area backpacking the North Fork of the Flathead River, and it's gonna be phenomenal. Hey baby,
oh,
how was it?
That was great.
Yeah?
I thought I was way more nervous than I needed to be.
Ooh.
You missed that though.
I know, I missed Joe hitting his head.
Yeah, it was awesome.
2 minutes into the adventure and I've already dropped my camera and broke the lens off. So this will all be by iPhone 12 Pro Max, the entire trip. But this trip is gonna be 28 miles of pure outside wilderness adventure. Schafer Meadow is absolutely gorgeous. It is 100% worth coming in here. I know you can also raft the middle fork of the Flathead River down, and if you don't want to backpack, consider the rafting trip because this area is amazing. All right, we're just leaving the airstrip area and we're not even a mile into this trip and it is overwhelmingly amazing. Just the smells, the trails. What'd you find, Joe?
Strawberries. Strawberries.
Oh, it's so tiny. Oh yeah, that's good.
Wild strawberries. Wow. I can see why bears love those. Here's our first peek at the middle fork of the Flathead River. That water looks gorgeously cold. Three miles into the trip and we've seen our very first wildlife. A little grouse, a mama grouse, and a little baby grouse. And I didn't say moose, it's grouse. Grouse is a bird, but hopefully we see something a little bit bigger out here. We are almost 5 miles into our very first day, and all I can say is, Montana, I'm impressed. The Bob Marshall Wilderness Area is just a slice of heaven within a slice of heaven. It's like the cherry on top of a piece of pie. It is absolutely gorgeous. I'm so glad we did this trip. This is just amazing. I hope that this luster and this scenery never wears off on me. Hopefully be spending a lot more time up here in Montana. Our very first stream crossing, which back home would be definitely a river. It's only about calf deep, but it's it's cold. Made it through our first, I don't know, creek crossing? River. We'll call that a river. That was definitely a good time. This water is freezing, but God, so refreshing. So the things you got to remember while backpacking is this is an adventure, not a race, and it's the journey, not the destination. Take your time on all the uphills and enjoy the scenery.
Kelly, are you a tripod?
Yes, I am. So the scary part right here, walking through all these high ferns, anything could be in here. I was told by my buddy Joe that this trail had no climbs, was all downhill from Schafer Meadow all the way back to the road, about 30 miles. And so far, the first half of day one, we've had 3 good sized climbs. They've taken us way above the river. I don't know if you can see it off my shoulder here, but the river is way down there. So Joe is super unreliable. If he ever tells you, hey, don't worry, it's all downhill, he's lying. We just hit 10 miles on our very first day. That's way further than I thought we were gonna go for day one. I figured day one would be a 8 or 9er, but here we are at 10, we're still going. It's like 3 o'clock, so we're making great time. Right now we're in a really thick hillside, so I'm hoping that we get back down to the river, set up camp here shortly, because dinner sounds amazing right now.
We're hoping to find the river so we can soak our feet. It's been a long day. Way more hills than we thought.
We got into camp after a 13-mile day. We literally did a half marathon today. It was crazy. All of the ups and downs. We did 4 different mountain, not peaks, but definitely went really high on these mountains. So it was just a super, super bomber day. So right now we're just hanging out, getting ready for tomorrow. Good morning to day 2 here in the Bob Marshall Wilderness area by this beautiful creekside camp spot. Starting the day off very first thing in the morning with a nice creek crossing. This is actually the creek we camped right next to. So this should be a nice, cool start. Holy shit. This water is glacial cold. So that was the bear scat from the 2 bears that Amber saw this morning past through camp right before we got up. Of course, we missed it, but yeah, it was a brown bear and a black bear, but we know that brown bears can be black and black bears can be brown. So, but there were 2 good-sized bears that walked right past the trail through camp, which is really cool. Unfortunately, I missed it. And that is a goal. My goal for the Bob Marshall is to see at least 1 bear at a respectable distance.
That's Granite Canyon.
Oh, sorry.
No one knows.
Lewis and Clark moment.
It's the unknown path. I mean, come on, are you serious right now? This is actually within the lower 48. This is just gorgeous. The way the water just comes through here, hits this little redirect, gets really deep, emerald blue water, absolutely amazing. According to the map, the best we could read it, on day 2 here, this should be right out of camp, our very first and only climb of the day. But it's so worth it. This climb exposes the river and it is just phenomenal. Holy shit. The video does not do it justice, but take my word for it, this trail is 100% worth it. That was bear track on our trail, going the same direction, pretty fresh. It's over other footprints, so yeah, people came down here just yesterday. Maybe we'll see one. How would you like to have that as your cabin in the woods? Not too shabby. This is where bears like to hang out. So we're making lots of noise to not sneak up on them. So like usual, not the only hill on this trail. Still climbing up from the little ranger station back there. Getting some pretty good elevation above the river, but hey, can't argue with the scenery. Well, we're still going the right way. That's always a good sign. However, we're still in this thickness again, which is not always fun in bear country. On the good side, I have no worries whatsoever about rattlesnakes. Coming from Arizona, that is a big plus. Under all this brush, there really is a trail, I promise. So those are huckleberries and they taste delicious. You notice here in Montana that if you go into any store, they have huckleberry muffins and cupcakes and cake and pancakes. Everything is huckleberry related and they're crazy expensive. Huckleberries go for like 80 bucks a pint right now. It is delicious, especially right off the branch. 3 miles in and we are at our second water crossing. Not water crossing, stream crossing. Maybe a little river. I don't even know what you call this. But it's cold, deep, and beautiful. Well, guess we're crawling through this one. Going under. A little lower. Oh gosh. You got it.
Am I clear?
Yep. You're clear. Good job, baby. There's one way to do it.
Well, you know,
Shit, my foot's
There you go. Apparently there's a big storm came through here. Got a whole lot of deadfall on the trail. And the trail crews haven't made it thus far. They've definitely busted butt to get the trail cleared up before this, but I guess they haven't gotten this far yet. But you can really appreciate how much work these national park rangers do to get these trails cleaned up, because holy cow, a lot of work. Yep, and the Bob Marshall is still putting the wild in wilderness. This is wild. Tall, heavy packs, not good for going under trees. Hold tight. Nice. Like a pro. A little bit lower. So we are officially out of the deadfall area. Thanks to the volunteers and the National Park Service. Those guys back there that are clearing everything out. Everything has to be cut by hand in the Bob Marshall Wilderness area. No chainsaws, no electric motors, no gas motors. Everything is 100% by hand. And that is some serious manual labor. I mean, we probably had to go over and under maybe 100 trees in the last, I don't know, maybe a mile and a half. And yeah, those guys are going the other way. So from this point forward, it is free sailing for us. Thank you, National Park Service, and the volunteers that are with them. Oh, this view, God. Mountainside Retreat Homes, $4 million right here. And you can see off in the distance where all the avalanches have taken all the trees year after year. Right now we're at mile 8 on today's leg. And we spent about 2 miles of that going over deadfall, and then had a lot of overgrown kind of ferns, large shrubbery having to push through. And we spent about the last hour pretty far away from the river, but we can now get back to it. We can hear it flowing down there. You can see the rapids. My honest guess would be bear skull. It's a little creepy. Walk on the trail and you come across that hanging in a tree. Kind of wonder where that came from or how it got there. Just a couple miles of flatland mosquito area, and we're at Schafer Cabin now, which should be very close to the river. This is where we're camping for the night. End of day 2, right here, Schafer Cabin. Camping here at the Schafer Meadow Cabin, and we actually hiked all the way down to the river's edge, and we're on an actual sandbar that is a camp spot for the night. It's really cool. We're right on the water. Only negative part is a little buggy, but whatever. This place is phenomenal. Look at that. Emerald water right behind us. Our tent's just right here. It's gonna be a good night. Good morning, day 3, our final day here in the Bob Marshall Wilderness area. This trail has just been amazing. It is Very, very difficult. This is a higher rated trail than what we thought it was, but the cost versus reward is amazing. You pay for it, but you get a lot out of it. I definitely highly recommend this trail. If you are in good backpacking shape, hit this trail. It is totally worth it. If you've never had huckleberry, they're absolutely delicious. They're like a little bit of a more tart blueberry. You pick them right off the plant and eat them fresh. Delicious. Well, we got about 4 miles to the end. Still cruising right along in this deep forest. Mosquitoes here and there, not too bad. But little hike out of the cabin area. It's been pretty flat so far. Hopefully, let's keep this going. We're just over 6 miles on day 3, and I hear the road ahead. The finish line is just around the bend. This trail has been pretty great. 4 big climbs today. Definitely a lot more than what we were thinking we were gonna have, but totally worth it, 100%. If you are looking for an adventure, I definitely suggest getting flown in to Schafer Meadow and taking the 3-day backpacking trip out along Big River Trail 155 on the Middle Fork of the Flathead River. You'll work for it. You will work for it, but you will enjoy it. The views are fantastic. Everything about this place is just amazing. The only thing we didn't get to check off was saw no bears or any moose. And that was the 2 things I really wanted to see here, but maybe next time. Well guys, if you are a fan of adventure, click that subscribe button. Be sure to like, be sure to hit that notification bell, and follow us on IG, adventureboat_. And I'll see you guys next time.